I'm Tom, and it's time for the Beterbiev Bivol review. The dust has settled. Let's actually talk about what next, did the right man win, where did the fighters go, all this good stuff. Now, I'm actually glad I waited to make this video. I waited to make this video so I could rewatch the first fight, rewatch the second fight, actually rewatch the whole second card. Fantastic card. And properly digest and really think about where I think the fighters should go. And with the introduction of the league that was announced yesterday, it's an interesting one. So let's run through the fight first. The first fight that took place, I thought Bivol would win, and I scored it to Bivol. And I scored it to Bivol. It was an extremely close fight. I had Bivol ahead by 1 round. 2 points, because obviously you lose the point from Beterbiev, give it to Bivol. I had Bivol winning by 1 round, 2 rounds, but most recently I had him winning the fight by 1 round. An extremely close fight. I could see it as a draw. I couldn't really see Beterbiev winning, but that's not to say Beterbiev couldn't have been given the decision. It was an extremely close fight. I don't think it was a robbery. It was just a close fight. I've rewatched the second fight, and for me, that was more of a clear-cut win for Bivol, who I thought Bivol would win. That was more of a clear-cut win for Bivol than the first fight was. I had Bivol winning the first one. Extremely close fight, could have been given a draw, potentially Beterbiev. I had Bivol quite comfortably winning the second one. By comfortably is the wrong word, but quite clearly winning. It was a very uncomfortable fight, but I think he won that more clearly than he won the first fight. So I had Bivol winning both. So for me, there's no real need for a trilogy. However, there should be a trilogy. Beterbiev won the first fight. Bivol won the second fight. I think Bivol should grant him the rematch. I don't think it goes any different. I think for the first time, maybe ever, we saw a slight age to Beterbiev. Now, Beterbiev is still the very top of that division. Those two are so head and shoulders above the rest of that weight division. It's crazy. Benavidez and Smith, the next in line, not even close. So I think there should be a rematch, because really, it's the only fight that kind of makes sense for them both. Now, I know that there's been a rematch, the mandatory ordered with Benavidez, but the reality of it is Turkey can sort that with a bit of money, bit of step-aside money. So that's not really an issue. Now we'll come back to that, but that I don't think will present too much of an issue for the trilogy. I think we saw perhaps the first time ever Beterbiev. So I think if we saw a trilogy, Bivol would also win, and he's got that game plan really nailed. So he's got that win. It shows the level when everybody that Beterbiev has stepped in there with, he's put to sleep. And he steps in there with Bivol and doesn't even get a knockdown. And again, that's not any slight to Beterbiev. That just shows the level of Bivol. That shows the level of Beterbiev, that he can knock everyone out. And then Bivol, that he can't even knock him down or beat him. That shows the level of these two kind of operators. Now, if there's not the rematch, I think that's what makes most sense and what will probably happen. That said, we have never seen a trilogy one after the other. That's never happened. You don't see, we've seen a back-to-back rematch, but you haven't seen back-to-back trilogies. It doesn't happen. You take fights in between the second one, in between the third one. And there's a reason for that. So maybe they should both go and take another fight to warm up, and we'll entertain that. I don't think it should happen. I just think at Beterbiev's age, you got to go now. And to be fair, at Bivol's age, you got to go now. So that's why. But you don't really, they could both go get another fight in the meantime and then revisit this the start of next year. Maybe the end of this year, but the start of next year. And like January time. And that's what I wouldn't mind seeing. You know what I mean? If that were to happen, obviously Bivol takes care of his mandatory Benavidez. If that were to happen, Bivol faces Benavidez. I think outboxes him 9 rounds to 3, 8 rounds to 4, something in that range. I think Bivol outboxes Benavidez. And then Buatsi can rematch Smith, potentially. Buatsi could take on Morel, who's another top contender, but rematching Smith is an option. And then they face each other. That would be a really good way of doing things. And actually, what I think will probably happen is we'll probably see the trilogy with, I'd like it's been disputed, but probably in this boxing league, we've seen the boxing league has now been announced. So probably in this boxing league, we'll see Beterbiev versus Bivol 3 or Bivol versus Beterbiev 3. Kind of one of the first big fights we're going to see in this boxing league. Maybe not for undisputed, because that would allow Benavidez to then have the belt and whatever. And the most money would be for Beterbiev and Bivol to fight each other for a third time in the boxing league under Dana White. That's just a thought. People, you let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you leave a like, a comment, subscribe. You know how YouTube works, people. Peace.